kind of crazy there. We do want to send a big shout out to those who are joining us in the chat room on YouTube there, as Big Daddy in the house, wishing Mr. Vino a very happy Friday. We got Julio in there, Jave's in the house, GB, gentlemen, welcome in. Also, shout out to those joining us on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. I guess it's not politically correct, Merrill, to say anything about that's right, X. So big shout out there, guys. Don't forget, those of you joining us, if you're new, hit the subscribe button if you could. Become part of that WagerTalk TV family. And a thumbs up. You guys know how it rolls, right? We get a thumbs up there. We certainly appreciate the support, because we're going to give you a couple of winners here right now in a game I'm looking forward to, because I'm really thinking about going to it. Miami taking on the Pelicans here tonight. The Pelicans, yeah, that was fun watching them melt down there last night against Orlando. Now the Heat get New Orleans on the back of second of a back-to-back here. Merrill, this line has been moving. It looks like I saw it as high as 4. It looks like it's coming back a little. 208.5 in the total. Now, Merrill, you can break down the total if you want as well, but how are you leaning in this matchup tonight?
I leaned Pacers. I gave a 2-for-1 special in the contrarian segment there, because I leaned Pacers and then threw in the over. I'm getting blamed for giving extra info in the first time in history on WagerTalk TV. Look, you mentioned Brandon Ingram is out, and he is out. He will not play tonight, so that's why this line continues to climb, and he's an important player for the Pelicans, to say the least. And you do worry about what's been a really successful season for an up-and-coming team, and they've been a very good road team. So, yeah, they lost to the Magic, who are now 25-8 at home. And keep in mind that they were a 3-point road favorite at Orlando, and now they're a 3.5-point dog at Miami. So I don't know if there's really a 6-point difference between those two teams. However, it is a no-rest travel, and they are without one of their best players now in Ingram. So this line has moved, but as is often the case, we see teams step up when they're shorthanded, and we see an over-adjustment in the market. So I would lean towards New Orleans now for that reason. If you like the Pelicans, you wait. Ingram's out, so this line's not going to change because of that, and it's 3 minus 15 in most spots. So I do think you'll see a plus 3.5 or higher by tip-off. If you like the Heat, you probably want to grab that -3 now, because I don't think it's going any lower.
Yeah, they have not been, Merrill, Rob Vino, this New Orleans team. I think the numbers I saw were 34-47 against the number when they're playing teams with winning records here. So they've beaten up on the lesser teams, right? They've done their, but when they tend to play some of the more competitive teams like Orlando last night, they fall a little bit short. I think it's safe to say that Miami falls into that category. How would you approach this matchup here tonight?
Well, with the scheduling against them, with Brandon Ingram going down, being against them, Steve talked about it generally when it looks real easy, the NBA throws a curveball at you. I mean, in way more instances than not. I really wish I just kept a spreadsheet of the amount of times that this has happened where the team that's undermanned comes out and wins the game. But the safest thing to do with New Orleans all season long has been just to play them first half. And first half, they lost last night. First half, they're now 42-25 against the spread overall first half, and they're 22-14 on the road. And they haven't always had their entire team on the road, right? This is a team that suffered through injury all season long, whether it be one piece or another. Here, they'll have to go without Ingram, but I don't know that it matters. I think I would feel pretty confident, Joe. Miami, for what it's worth, when I looked them up this morning, they are a pretty decent first half team as well, but I don't know that I trust them first half here. So I think New Orleans probably, even despite the lack of rest, I think that would show up in second half rather than first. So I'm going to slice it in half and take New Orleans first half here to get the job done against Miami.
Ooh, looking at getting it done here today. Love it. Big Daddy's in agreement with Vino. Mahalfi, by the way, don't see Bam's threes posted yet, Merrill. Keep an eye on that. We'll let you know if it comes up. But RC, what are you thinking here, man? Do you trust, obviously no Ingram, but do you trust New Orleans on the road again? Second of a back-to-back. That was a pretty physical game last night, too, as well, against Orlando.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough game there. Obviously coming off of that loss yesterday, second at back to back. Also, a third game in 4 nights. And they had to travel. I think Orlando was their first game on the road from travel. So that's something interesting to bring up as far as schedule spot. The Heat, they got the rest. They got rest going into this one, but they're somewhat in of a flat spot in my opinion. I think first game home off a 4 game road trip. To me, that's a flat spot offensively there. I know that he aren't the best at home against the number either. I think let me look at their number here: 11, 20, and 1 ATS at home. If you look at them, I believe if they're heavily favored, I looked at lines of 4 or more, 3 and 10 ATS, and that includes 1 and 8 ATS in these lower totals. If you go and they're favored by 4 or more, and the total is a little bit lower, under 225, 1 and 8 against the spread at home. So it's not a really good matchup for them from that aspect. I know the Pelicans have been really strong off of losses this season. That's one way to back them, not only in the first half, but from a full game perspective. 17-9 straight up, 17-8-1 against the spread following a loss. To me, I think this is a situation where we look towards the Pelicans to bounce back here. The line might just be a little bit too high, in my opinion. So maybe take the Pelicans here.
All right, leaning towards the Pelicans here tonight, and a good one in Miami because there's also a ton of double-digit games here once again on the card here tonight. But Miami hovering around that 3.5 mark right now. That game is coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern time. All right,
hey
big
Joe,
shout
real
out
quick.
to
Joe, let me let you know real quick. Was that Big Daddy asking about the Adebayo 3-point prop in the chat?
That
or somebody
was Big
asking about that?
It was not Big Daddy. If I'm not mistaken, it was McFly there in the chat room there. And
I want to give McFly a shout out because that means he has watched my 8-game preview video, which is up on WagerTalk TV. So I love it because what I mentioned in that, and I forgot to mention earlier, is that Adebayo in his first 472 career NBA games had made 9 3-pointers. He is 5 for 5 over the past 4 games from 3-point range, and that's why we were joking about that. He's all of a sudden taking a lot of threes. So I told anybody out there, if you find an Adebayo 3-pointer prop, let me know. He was questionable this morning when I did the video. He is now listed as available, which you don't see too often on the injury report. Yep. So it looks like he is going tonight, and we'll see if he hits another 3.
So let me just apologize. It's not McFly. It's Mahaffey. Close enough, though. Really, we're not going to, split hairs here. Mahaffey, McFly. The bottom line is he nailed it. He knew what was going on. And to his credit, he is saying that he has been called worse. So kudos there. Certainly do appreciate it. He'll take it. All right, we're going to talk a total. And by the way, those of you joining us for the first time, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, X, Facebook, we're across all platforms here. If you have a question about a particular game tonight, drop it in to the chat room. We're going to get to as many as we can here at the end, but we're going to talk a total here tonight in our overtime section. And, well, I guess this is one of the biggest ones on the board here tonight. Opened up at 227.5, now seeing 230.5. This is looks like it's going to continue to climb here, Merrill. But what are you thinking? Is it still an over or pass spot for you?
I'll tell you what's climbing. It's the point spread. It was 15, now it's 17. But I will look at the total since this is the overtime segment. I don't want to get you all thrown off here, but yeah, this is going to be the biggest road favorite in all seriousness that we see all season. I think it was 15 when I did that analysis video earlier this morning. Now it's 17. So, I mean, nobody wants to touch these Raptors. I fully get it. They've somewhat maybe tossed the towel in the season. They claim they haven't, some of the quotes I was reading about this game. But obviously the scoreboard has said otherwise. And if they really have tossed the towel, I think the over is the way you want to look in these type of games, because when a team has no motivation, they usually look to play very little physical defense, and they look to pad their offensive numbers for next season, for stats, for contract extensions and whatnot. So, yes, it would be over or pass for me, and we'll hope that the Toronto Raptor offense can help out. This is a team that's gone under now in 4 straight and 5 of their last 7 games. So maybe the Oklahoma City team total over is the safest way to play this. And by the way, don't quite understand what that move going from 15 to -17. The Thunder have won 6 of their last 7 games straight up, but they're just 1-7 ATS their last 8 games. In fact, this week alone, They've won by 7, 6, and 12 and failed to cover all 3 times as 10, 11, and 16-point favorites. So strange move on the point spread, but I would lean over as far as the total goes.
All right, leaning towards the over or not here, RC. How about it for you, my man? Is it? It's still climbing though, but there's no way we could sweat out an under in this game, is there?
Nah, it's tough. I mean, with all the pieces out for Toronto, I mean, I would lean towards the over as well. If you just look at pace wise, right? If you look at last 10 games in pace, I think the Raptors are actually first in pace the last 10 games, and Thunder are sixth. So just pace alone tells me that this is going to be an up and down game. I know the Raptors, they're struggling from the offensive side of the ball, mainly because of all those guys missing. But I think that what matters the most is whether or not the Thunder are going to be motivated to play any defense here. And one thing that I looked at as from the Thunder side to see if that's something that they do, they're actually as double-digit favorites on the road here. They're 0-5 ATS, 4-1 to the over. That tells me they're not focused on defense at all in these types of situations. One other thing that I looked at, I know the Raptors really, really struggled in their last game. So I looked at how the Raptors do after they go under their team total by 20 or more points. They actually cover the spread, 3-0 ATS. But since we're focused on the total, they're scoring a lot of points after that. They're averaging 125 points per game. So it looks like we might see a bounce back offensively from the Raptors side, and obviously the Thunder do what they do. So pace-wise, bounce back offensively, I'll point towards an over.
All right, up and over. And Vino, we all know you ain't sweating an under in this, so who the hell are we kidding? What are you thinking here with the total in this one? Maybe even a team total, I think maybe you're looking at, huh?
Now you're talking, Joe.
Yeah,
why not look team total? Who in their right mind wants to trust Toronto right now with Emmanuel Quickly, right? 96 and 89 points the last 2 games. The point guard situation is an absolute mess. Steve was talking about quotes. My favorite one from today from Toronto head coach was, we're just like going down the stretch and just, we're pretty thin right now. We get it, coach. Not enough players that can actually play. They're going to give it their all. It's a bunch of wings. And Kelly Olynyk, for what it's worth, isn't even really a true center, even though he is close to 7 foot, but he's their biggest guy. So for me, OKC should be able to name their number here. They don't have a look ahead to tomorrow. They play a couple days from now in Milwaukee. It's the start of a 3-game road trip. And for OKC, every time they win, they stay in first place, hold on to the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So you can't lose a game like this. I think they'll be motivated offensively. I mean, even if they weren't, Joe, you could probably get to 124 by accident against this defense right now for Toronto. OKC is a team that is so deep that, generally speaking, they don't run out of gas second half. Because guys who come in can score just as well. So I think 123.5, and that's been pushed up from the opener of 121.5. But I think that's the way to go. Trust the favorite side here to score points. Don't trust them, to come totally equipped defensively. And as Ronald mentioned, I think it was him who said, they haven't been winning by margin as of late. So maybe Toronto does get their share, but where total's concerned, I'd rather zero in on the favorite here, Oklahoma City, over 123.5.
Ooh, up and over team total. Been doing the show too long there, Vino. Well aware of where you were thinking about going there. Outstanding stuff. All right, so that means we got quite a few dogs here to sort through tonight. 8 games, 8 dogs. Robert, let's see what we got rolling here tonight.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check it out here. Woo, this is ugly. Pistons, the Cavs. I don't even know who the hell's left healthy in the Cavs. Watch your nose, Donovan. Pelicans in the house, as is the Blazers, getting 13.5. The Raptors we just talked about. Oh, the Memphis Grizzlies still in the house. The Pacers, as well as the late night special, Sixers and the Lakers. So, your turn here, RR1L. This is some disgustingness as usual this time of year and the final couple of weeks of the regular season. Where would you look for a barking dog here tonight?
Yeah, I'm actually going to use the dog I like best for my best bet in a moment. So I'll give you a secondary dog here on the board. And obviously, it's pretty thin pickings to come up with the second best dog on the board. But I'll take a flyer with the Detroit Pistons. And I know we're playing against the Celtics, who have been as good as anybody in the NBA this year. But whenever you're playing one of these big dogs, it's not about playing the team. It's about fading the opponent. And I would also lean Raptors for that reason. As I just said earlier, I don't see any reason why that line's gone from 15 to 17 to Oklahoma City's a good team regardless who's playing. Toronto's a bad team regardless who's playing. So Raptors would be my third dog choice. But my second dog choice would be the Pistons, just because I think Boston's got bigger games on deck. They have a no-rest situation at Chicago. This is the start of a sixth straight game road trip. Teams often do want to make their first road game a successful one. So if you are looking to play Celtics in this game, I like them in the first half. But I think Detroit plus 14.5 for the full game is the best option. And the Pistons have been competitive. They've actually covered 5 of their last 9 ATS despite losing most of those straight up. So I think they can hang within the number tonight.
All right. It's they have been one of the better first half covered teams there, the Celtics. They're kind of like the Houston Cougars. They like to bully you early and get it done here. And maybe they'll do that again here tonight. RC, it ain't pretty, my man. But when you sort through it, who at least with one eye open might be worth taking a look at here for a dog?
Yeah, we talked about it in the overtime game, actually. I like the Raptors here at the plus 17.5. Obviously the Thunder have been winning games. They've been one of the better teams in the league, but they haven't been covering games. They've won 13 of their last 16. They failed to cover in 7 of their last 8. Obviously, I talked about how the Raptors typically bounce back after struggling offensively. I think I talked about it earlier. I think if they stay under their team total by about 20 or more points, they bounce back offensively. Obviously, they're missing a lot of pieces. So it's probably, it's really sketchy, but I'm just looking at the Thunder side here as double-digit favorites, right? They've done well. 9-7 ATS as double-digit favorites, but on the road, 0-5 ATS, and all 5 of their opponents went over their team total. If you look at the teams that they face in this situation, they failed to cover against the Wizards, the Blazers, and the Grizzlies. And they even lost outright to the Pistons and the Spurs. So this is definitely not a situation to run into the window and back the Thunder in. So the only dog that I could really see here, I wouldn't say easily, but there's a lot of really good things pointing towards the Raptors here covering this large number.
All right. Well, it is kind of an obnoxious number, RC. We're not going to lie. Can we get a big shout out? We've been looking in the back of milk cartons there for S. Warrior, and apparently he has just shown up. And it's amazing as we make the Heat one of our plays here tonight. S. Warrior, who we thought at one point, Rob Vino in the chat room, might have actually been playing for the Heat when they were all banged up, but he is back here. And yes, we did talk about the Heat, but if you guys have a certain game, whether you're joining us on Instagram, whether it's X, whether it is YouTube Shorts, go ahead, hit us up, drop it in the chat. We'll get to some of those as soon as we're done here. Now, Vino, tell me, man, this is absolutely gross. 8 dogs on the card. Which one are you leaning towards?
Well, 14.5 Pistons, 17, that's 31.5. And if I add the Blazers to that, which I think is now 14, we have 13.5 listed, but that's like taking almost 4 dozen points tonight. So let's take Portland. We talked about this the other night, and you do want to have DeAndre Ayton for this game. He's questionable. I don't know if he was back on the air mattress the other night and didn't sleep well enough, and now he's questionable, but you really want him in this game. Back-to-backs in Portland. Here's what the Clippers do the other night in this game. They shoot 52% from the field, better than 52%. They shoot 42% from 3, 87% from the line, hold Portland to only 103 points, and they barely covered 12.5, 116, 103. I just don't know how interested the LA Clippers are in winning by margin here on the road on a Friday night. I think Steve talked about it earlier. Generally speaking, when we're taking these big dogs, you're not necessarily pro dog, you're anti-favorite, and hoping that you get a somewhat semi-focused effort out of them. I think you get that out of the Clippers here. Like I said, we talked about this exact game the other day, and I thought maybe a counter punch would be available for us here today. I think it is. Portland plus 14 to me just looks like too many. They're still playing hard. Did get Anthony Simons the other night. The other night we were worried that Anthony Simons might not play. He did. Looks like he's a go here. Hopefully Ayton is a go as well. Couple of reserves for the LA Clippers and important ones, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell. Questionable. So without any depth, if those guys don't go, maybe the Clippers choose to rest some guys. I'd say Portland plus 14 that's my dog for tonight.
Woo! Man, that is gross on so many levels. But I see exactly where you're heading there, Rob Vino, and I like it. All right. Don't forget, give us the thumbs up there, hit that subscribe button, and get ready. We got best bets coming your way here. And those that are new, it's pretty simple. We throw 60 seconds on a clock. Otherwise, who knows how long these guys will talk. And we want them just to do whatever they want with the 60 seconds. Make sure to give us the best bet. So double R, 1L. We'll kick it off for us here today. Merrill, 60 seconds. Where are you rolling here tonight for a best bet?
Yeah, just a quick reminder, we're talking NBA, and there's a lot more NBA here on WagerTalk TV. I did a breakdown of all 8 games, quick hitter fashion, with my daily NBA rundown here on WagerTalk TV. So check that out after the show. Be sure you hit subscribe and click the bell as well so you never miss these free play videos. And also 3 college basketball best bets still available for my clients tonight on Friday. We won yesterday on Thursday. We started off this afternoon with a winner on UAB. Never in doubt, Joe Ranieri. And we're having another strong 3-pack tonight in the NCAA tournament. So check that out right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Free play for the NBA tonight is the Portland Trailblazers in bounce-back mode. And once again, this isn't a play on the Blazers. It's a play against the Clippers. Clippers were in a focused spot when these teams played on Wednesday because the Clippers had lost 4 of the previous 5 straight up in ATS. They won by 13, had a huge lead in that game. Now they come back down flat. It's the honeymoon Harden effect. A couple months in, I don't think the Clippers are a play anymore, and they're still an overrated team. We'll look for Portland to stay within the big number tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern.
Woo! But a second left. That is a buzzer beater here, people. Well done, Merrill. Well done. You want to talk about that total in the Churian play? I didn't think so. Let's go here, RC. You've got plenty of opportunities to cash your ticket here tonight. What is the game you circled for us?
Yeah, I'm looking towards the Celtics and the Pistons game. I like this game early. I think Steve talked about it a little bit earlier at the first half specifically. The Celtics, first of a 5-game road trip, also first leg of back-to-back games with the Bulls on deck. So they're probably going to want to take care of business early here and kind of let the reserves see if they could hold that lead in the second half so that their starters don't have to play too much. To me, if you just look at the Celtics in general on the season, they continue to dominate these games, especially early on in the games. One thing I looked at specifically is how much they dominate in the first quarter and the first half. I wouldn't talk people off the first quarter either, but in the first quarter, double-digit road favorite situation, plus 9.4 average margin in the first quarter, plus 15.5 in the first half. Decent sample size as far as number of games as well. So only way I could look here is towards the Celtics, either first quarter or the first half.
Oh, all right. First half, full game, number first quarter. Just get it done here, Celtics tonight for RC. Vino, you are up, my man. 60 seconds. What over are we looking at tonight?
Right to the bottom of the barrel, Joe. Actually, the bottom of the board. Why would I say bottom of the barrel? Because if Ski were here, he'd have my head. Philly Lakers over the 224.5 here. I mean, there's no other way to play the Los Angeles Lakers games right now other than over 6 consecutive games where they've scored 227 plus. We need that tonight. We got to get over 224.5. Better than that, 10 of their last 11 at home, 229 or more scored. I mean, it's just repetitive. They're scoring like crazy. They're not defending. Their shooting percentages, 5 of their last 6 games, they're shooting phenomenal, 52% or better from the field. I don't see any reason why it stops here against the Philadelphia defense. That's obviously shorthanded, especially at the rim with their combination of centers, Bamba and Paul Reed. perhaps you're without Tobias Harris here. You watched him the other night against Phoenix. Philly gives you 48 full minutes of effort. So give me over 224.5 Sixers Lakers.
Ooh, like it. All right, Merrill, did you have something else to roll with when it came to the Miami game?
The Miami game? Nothing too crazy. Just that Adebayo 3-point prop. We're still trying to find him for the hottest 3-point shooter in the league right now.
And it's still not up? Still not on there, huh?
Not.
Well, let me tell you this. We arrested S. Warrior apparently had drinks with him last night. And said he'd be, he said he might be looking for that as well, and he'll let us know as soon as it gets up there. McFly, by the way, McAfee, big shout out to you here today in the YouTube chat room. We appreciate you. Big best bet tonight, taking a shot with a Wemby triple-double, RC. Wemby triple-double, and it's 16-17 to 1. It's something you'd be interested in here with Wemby tonight.
You'll probably get the triple-double with blocks more than assists, but I'm not a prop guy, so I wouldn't take that.
Well, throw it in there. You watched Steve's video, you mentioned it, so you're good to go. We'll throw Wemby out there too. Eddie Davis also shooting out. Jimmy 30+ points tonight. Do we have any believers with Jimmy Butler? Vino, what are you thinking?
We're always believing in Jimmy Butler. Did he say he's going to score 30? That's always the key. Jimmy will tell you. Go back and if he tells you something good's going to happen, then something good would happen. But 30 is a lot to ask. But again, you got a tired defense in New Orleans, so there's potential for it.
Yeah, we're also hearing that maybe Jaylen Brown might also be not taking out here. He might be in a rest mode. The entire lineup, by the way, Horford, Porzingis, Tatum, all questionable, but there appears to be some consensus that maybe Brown won't be going here tonight, so worth keeping an eye on, but I don't think it's going to matter one way or the other. Oh, no, Merrill. Oh, no.
Well, I was going to say that line opened 13. It's 14.5, and the two leading indicator books I follow are almost 15 now, so the betting market doesn't feel like they're sitting anybody, at least as of 5 o'clock Eastern.
That's a lot of questionables, a lot of cues.
Even if they sit two of their best guys, they're still better than the rest of the league. It don't matter. It don't really matter.
Yeah, and something I forgot to mention, Ron, on that Detroit game, they just played, I think it was Monday, right? And they blew them out, and they were shorthanded then even as well. So there's a lot of intricacies working in that game tonight.
Yep. Love it. All right. We've got it. Let me see if there's anybody else in here. McFly, we trust. I think that's a hashtag. We'll get a shirt done with that. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging with us here. And again, shout out to Instagram. Those of you joined us there. X, Facebook, YouTube, even the ones joining us on YouTube Shorts. We certainly appreciate the time. To recap, Merrill, Blazers, plus 14, gross. Rob Vino, Philly, LA, over 224.5. Absolutely see that. And the Celtics, first half, lay the 9. Why? Because like these guys just said, it really doesn't matter who the hell's playing for them. They're still going to have enough firepower to run everyone over on the court. All right, Jeremy, Brickyard, Big Daddy, Have, damn S. Warrior showing up here tonight, guys. We certainly appreciate it. Do us a favor if you could, though. Hit that thumbs up on the way out here as you guys get ready for a monster weekend on the hardwood, both college and NBA. And I'll certainly hope that you'll hit that subscribe button and make plans to come back and join us again next week with more great NBA content coming your way. Cash those tickets on behalf of Steve, RC, and Rob Vino, guys. Crush it this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week. Good luck.